What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, all right? It is the 13th of June. Here we are at about 103.6K, 22 hours left in the day. We had a massive dump off, you guys. Massive dump over the past few days. Yesterday did not close at all how I expected it to. I really did. I feel like my last video, I want to say it was on one of these candles, this candle here, and we were calling for a bounce, and to move higher. Really calling for a low is what we were calling for, not to go lower than that. And we did get a bounce, to be fair. We just rejected prior support and wicked all the way down. At this point, I feel like it's very apparent that yes, we were going to go lower. I'm a little bit surprised by the price, that's for sure, but I'm not intimidated by it. I still don't believe that we're going to go below this low. I think we will hold that low as support. Bitcoin's a little drunk right now, swerving all over the road, but that's okay. Sometimes in these extreme situations, it's not common, but sometimes you do go from like the 886 retracement on this fib, and then because of that, you will then go all the way down to the 886 on this fib. And that tends to happen, if it ever does happen, and it's rare. I say it tends to happen. It doesn't happen often. But if it ever does, in the times that I've seen that happen, it is in moments like this where you do just move up in one fell swoop. Typically, though, you don't spend this much time consolidating. You know what I mean? So it's a bit dramatic. I got to say, it's a bit uncalled for, but still, very interesting to see. Very volatile. What's pretty cool about this, I think, is that on the 4-hour time frame, if we're looking at it here, putting a low at these, or putting a line at this low here and then these lows here, you've got a nice lower low succession in your RSI while having a higher low in price here. So lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in price. That's hidden bullish divergence. It's actually a good thing. It's not anything to be scared of. We are at the moment from this low to high, and just because I said we could go to the 886 doesn't mean that we have to. We are bouncing or finding support just below the golden ratio zone. Sometimes when you do this, especially if you can close above the golden ratio, that can mark a low. If you can hold above the golden ratio, that can definitely mark a low. Even if we close below here, this still very well could be the low. But as long as we're above $101.5 thousand, I don't think we're in jeopardy of going below this low. I think that we're safe from that 95 to 96K area, maybe even 94.5K. But if we do start to see prices below 101.5K, not on a wicking basis, but on a closing basis, daily closing basis, if we get below 101.5K today or tomorrow, I would say that at that point, 95 to 96K is back on the table. It's very much a possibility. So keep that in mind. I don't think it's on the table right now. Again, that's not what I'm assuming is going to happen, at least as of now. But that can change, and it wouldn't take much to change, right? We just got to move down a little bit. We're very near breaking through to new all-time highs, guys. Sometimes we get volatility. We consolidate right before. So here it is. I mean, Bitcoin literally did this already, right? Earlier this cycle. Not exactly like this, but just hear me out, right? We moved up in a much longer, drawn-out phase. We moved up to new all-time highs, and then we kind of consolidated right at that top area before we broke out higher. Now, this took months. I'm assuming it's not going to take months this time. I mean, we're already here for like 4 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm assuming that any day now we'll be breaking out, and I still do think that next week will be a bullish week. 140K by the end of the month, all that stuff is still happening. But as long as we don't go to 95K, I mean, if we were to go to 95K next week, I don't know, maybe 140K doesn't happen this week. I mean, that would be, or next, by the end of this month. That would be kind of crazy, but we'll see how that goes, right? We'll see how it goes if it comes to that. But just in that same kind of manner of thought here, we're hanging out right above our prior all-time highs. We got just above it, and now we're consolidating here. I think this is actually still a bullish phase of consolidation. I don't believe that we're going to go below this low, but again, 103.8K now. If we go below 101.5K on a daily closing basis specifically, we probably will go all the way down to 95 to 96K. And the reason why we think that is that this low here to this high here, the 382 is all the way right down there at about 95.7K. That's the expectation if we were to go lower. But I'm not expecting. And then look at that, 101.5K is also right there at the 236, just kind of showing. Was it? I thought it was 107. Oh, maybe I have it on the wrong high. 101.7K, very close to that same area there. It doesn't look like we've rejected the overbought zone, but we certainly are performing that way. And with that in mind, I mean, I would expect that we find support somewhere around the 40 area or potentially lower. I mean, looking at this overall, we do have higher lows, but we definitely could go lower. So just just keep in mind, guys, as long as we're above 101.5K, I think we're fine, okay? Whenever we do start moving higher, high to low here, if I sounded like I got distracted, that's just because my daughter just walked in the house and she's ringing a cowbell, and so I got a little bit thrown off. But 140K, 130K, that's the target area. Something up here, probably by the end of the month, if not earlier. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we were even past this level by the end of the month, going into July. Ultimately, we're looking for 170, 190, something in that area by the end of July. We're still on a perfect path for that. I don't think that anything's thrown off as far as timing for this. We're just wound up. We're winding up even tighter. And whenever this range breaks, it's going to be, we're going to get a move like this. And then we're going to continue to climb up afterwards. But I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully nobody's panic selling. Crypto's not an easy game, man. Sometimes wicked volatility happens. Sometimes you can expect it. Sometimes you don't expect it. This was definitely not my expectation, but I have a feeling that we'll all be fine probably within the next day or two. Today is Friday. I wonder how we're going to close today, but I wouldn't expect that we oh, you know what though? What we don't want to do, we don't want to close red. We don't want this week to close red. Today can close red, but we don't want this week to close red. So by the end of the week, we want to come up and close above 106K. That's what we want to do. As long as we're doing that, I'm not worried about Bitcoin. But if we close here or lower, if we get below 101.5K or lower, we likely will be going down to that 96 to 95K area. And we might have to rethink our targets and our time frames going after that, right? Unless Bitcoin's just super fast, I don't know. There's not really a scenario where I see us at this point in time going down to 95 to 96K by the end of the month, and then coming up and going to 170, 180K by the end of July. So if something like that happens, we're going to have to rethink the whole game plan. But you can tell that we're definitely volatile here. Bearish engulfing candle one week, bullish dragonfly doji the next week. We got a bearish hammer on this week here. Let's see how this week ends. As long as we close green or higher, I'm okay with that. So I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Bye-bye.